Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta. This one is about how to EQ and mix heavy metal guitars. This is something that you, my dear subscribers and people who watch my videos, have been asking for. I had plans to do some other stuff, but I broke my index finger, so it's completely, and it's super glued, so it holds together. So I can't play now for a while, but that doesn't, that's not the end of the world. So, now I give you a mixing tutorial. So this song is a song I wrote for my In the Style of Machine Head video. It's a heavy tune. And let's go through the gear I used so you get an idea what I'm about to, when I'm EQing and doing stuff. So the guitar was this ESP Mirage Custom from 80s, 87 I believe, with EMG 81 pickup. That was what I used. There's other pickups too. And this was and is in C/drop B flat tuning. This song is drop B flat tuning. Then I used two amps, JCM 800 2203, aka the Bad Boy, boosted with Bus SD1, and original 5150 block letter there. Can't remember if I boosted that with SD1 or TS808. Either of them, can't really remember anymore. And I used my Marshall vintage cabinet with Marshall vintage speakers and one Celestion V30. The 5150 was the Marshall vintage speakers mic'd with two SM57s in the Fredman style, and the Bad Boy was a Celestion V30 speaker that I remember because I can see it from here. the Bad Boy was the Celestion V30 speaker mic'd with a single SM57 and SC Electronics VR1 ribbon mic, and that was it. There's 4 guitar tracks. So 5150 and 800 on the left, and on the right hard panned. On the right side the 5150 is louder, and on the left side the 5150 is louder. On the right side the JCM 800 is louder. Now there's no EQ, nothing going on with the rhythm guitars. Let's go through them first. Everything is bypassed. This EQ everything is zeroed. At first, when we listen, one thing is I want you to take into consideration, because I always mix into a compressor and Pultec style EQ, so it gives me bottom end and top end from the get-go. So I'm just gonna play this song now a bit, and then I'm gonna bypass the Mixbus, so you'll hear how that sounds. It's a hardware. It's Tegeler's Creme RC and SSL Fusion. So let's listen. I'll bypass, so you'll hear that the volume drops, yes, but also the low end and the top end drops. So my Mixbus gives me already a better sound without doing anything, by adding SSL bus compressor, quite a bit punch, and the Pultec style EQ that the Creme has. I'm boosting 100 Hz and 11K. It's like a dB and a half or so. That gives that. So now you know that. And now let's listen to the guitars. Now there's nothing going on, like you see. It's just the way I recorded them. I will solo them and unsolo them, and then I'll tell you what I hear and what needs to be done. Not much, because the most important thing to get a good sound, to play good. If you play good, you will sound good. Because amplifier pickup just picks up the sound. Amplifier just amplifies the sound. That's the most important thing. Play good and you'll sound good. Okay, so now nothing on, just the 2 amplifiers, the cabinet, microphones, and then the microphones went into API style mic pre. Okay, so they sound great. They're a little bit, you know, like they are having a cold. I mean, this would work just fine, and this was the sound, you know, when I recorded. But let's open the EQ. And this is a Universal Audio's SSL 4000E channel strip. This and SSL's own 4000E are my favorite 4000E channel strip. Prefer this a bit more. This is a bit more aggressive, but this is such a CPU hog that I usually only use this on you know, rhythm guitars, bass, and lead guitars, basses and stuff. But I do most of the EQing in the bass. So these 4 guitars, they go to this bus. There's nothing going on here. This is the 4000B channel strip. Everything is zeroed. This is just for measuring, so that when I record, I want to aim that I'm hitting between 12 and 6. That's kind of where I feel everything works the best. Gain staging. Let me show you. Cool, so no EQ going on there. Okay, then let's open this and start to EQ a bit. So usually, or at least to me, there's 2 good frequencies and 2 evil frequencies. The reason I love SSL channel strips, the 4000 EB or 9000, is that they have 4 kind of bands. So what I'm hearing what this needs some top end, maybe tiny amount of bottom, and then, well, let me show you. So first what I do, I boost the top. I'm gonna use now my mouse so you'll hear what I'm doing. Usually I use these you know, these knobs, because then I don't need to use mouse, and it's almost like mixing with a real deal. And I always EQ them in the context. If you EQ these solos, you're too careful. So, alright. Top end first. 8K is my favorite for rhythm guitars. Or if I want a bit smoother, then I go higher, but 8K is the starting point. That's the frequency I like. And not bell, but a shelf, so it's smooth. Alright? Okay, so now we get let's use the same riff. Now we get the top end. But what I'm hearing now is a little bit harsh thing, because we humans, we hear upper mids the best in general. So I'm gonna find that certain frequency that bothers me a bit when I did the boost. So this is good. Now I'm gonna get rid of the bad top end. And I will show you how I do it, and then I explain what I did. There. So I boosted the frequency, then I found that what sounded, and this you should do fast, because we humans, our ears get used to so well. And now I'm gonna take a little break. Well, this is the break, so I let my ears to, you know, settle down. And now I'm gonna put this to 0, so that was the evil frequency, whatever it is. 3.8 I would say, but it's usually somewhere here between these marks, 3 and 4.5 on an SSL. Doesn't matter what it actually is, because you know you should mix with your ears, not with your eyes, because at least I don't hear a shit with my eyes. Okay, and then this is a narrow band. Now let's back it up so that I don't hear that anymore. There, just a little bit. You heard what I did when I did too much, then the bite disappeared. But just doing it a little with a narrow cue, I will get rid of that was, you know, creating ear fatigue, at least to me. So now we have the 8K boost, whatever dB this is. And then we have the upper mid cut with a narrow cue, whatever dB it is. And then we're gonna add a tiny bit of bottom end. Usually 100 Hz is my favorite. I mean, it's not really 100 Hz on SSL. It's actually more towards 90, but let's say it's 100 Hz. So, all right. So let's do the bottom end boost. And bottom end, I like to use bell. So shelf on the top. It's a bit smoother. I mean, if you want really aggressive, you can use bell. I hardly use it with guitars, especially distorted guitars, unless they're really dark. And bell figure with the bottom end. Okay, let's tweak the bottom end. So we don't need much, just you know, because more is more. There, well, at least what I hear now here, just filled it a little bit more without going on the way to bass. And now what it also did, I felt like it was a little bit, I like the bottom, but I don't like the lower mids. Now what it creates, so let's tweak the lower mids, and we're gonna do the same than what we did with the upper mids. We're gonna find the evil frequency. I actually know what it is, it's 500. But let me show you anyways. Okay, now we got rid of the, I mean, I don't know if it's exactly, but, you know, I think it's around 500 there, because that's the brrr, and this 3.5, 3.8, that's the 8K is the good low, good top, around 100 Hz, it's the good bottom, to me. But now, doing all this, I think we need to smoothen it out a little bit, because the cymbals are, you know, there's a lot of high end and the bass should take care of the low end. So let's tweak the filters. So let's get rid of some insanely high end we don't need, and what's not actually there, it's just basically noise. And same with the low end, that's just basically mud. So let's get rid of the top end first. No, both. like that. So, you know, around 80, 90, whatever. This is a low tune guitars. If this will be in E flat or more towards standard tuning, it would be probably somewhere here. But there I felt like, okay, now they're still low end, but it's not. And the top end, you need to have good monitors. To me, at least, when I find the correct cut, it just clears everything. So this is probably around, I would say 9, 10, 9 or whatever. Okay, now we got the EQ. Great. Then there's a couple of other things what I like to do, especially on down-tuned guitars. I like to add this multiband compressor by taming down the low when there's palm muting. So this is my go-to preset that works 100% every time. Rhythm guitar chunk. So listen what it does. So it just changed that cha-cha-cha-cha, makes it clearer. Now when we added that, I'm actually going to increase, let's see. Yeah, so it clears it so well that I lowered the cut to around 70 Hz and added a tiny bit more bottom. Okay, cool. Then another thing is, this is fantastic, because now actually let's listen this in solos so you'll hear what I mean. The Soothe, it's kind of like artificial intelligence. This is Nolly's preset called Guitar the Spike. So let's listen to the guitars, then I put this in, what happens. It just kinda, it's not taking it all the time like you saw. It's kind of whenever there's this like miniature stuff, it changes them down just a dB or two. I really like this. And now when we have this on, let's listen the whole thing, and I think I might even boost the highs a little bit more, because now I've got rid of the bad upper mids tiny bit with the EQ and with the Soothe, and the bad low mids with the SSL EQ and with the C6 compressor. And let's listen. Yeah, so I added a tiny bit more 8K and cut it less of the upper mids, because the Soothe was doing a nice job. Okay, now we have the basic sound, which sounds great. But we're not there yet. I want to make them a bit wider, a bit more livelier, and add a tiny bit of room sound. So let's add the room sound first. So here is the guitar room, and it's going to this room, and I have their Universal Audio's Sound City Studios. It's my preset called Guitar Room, because I don't have room mics, I have just closed mics in there, and using room mics, you know, you get phase issues and stuff, so I found it a lot easier to add a room mic sound to guitars by using especially this fantastic plugin. So let's listen to guitars soloed so you'll hear better. very minor, but I feel that it just adds a little bit space to the sides. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna add a little bit chorusing. Dimension D, which is Universal Audio's Studio D chorus, which is a Roland Dimension D, and then SPX90, that's real deal, my hardware, and the preset is called Symphonic, and the mod frequency is 0.7 Hertz. So I'm gonna engage these and listen what happens to the guitars. They become even more alive and more wider. So there you go, and if we listen these soloed, what they do, so let me show you. And with rhythm guitars and with metal, bass is important, because bass gives you that low end, because I was now EQing, within the context of a mix, so the bass was always on, and the bass sounds like this. And let me show you quickly what I did with the bass. So there's two bass tracks in the same performance. This is a Bulgarian's bass knob. It's an Ampeg, a little bit compression and a little bit of artificial sub lows with Little Labs Voice of God. And then the other, which gives me the clank, is a Softjuice Murder 1 Plexi. And the EQ is I just boosted 5K, like a lot. And took out some 250, some low mod, and that was it with the bass. So the 5K feels nice. You get the peak attack because it's really low tuning. Okay, then lead guitars. Same approach. I'm not gonna do this because I do exactly what I did. If you see, the EQ is pretty similar. Okay, here I'm cutting out like around 300. The cut is again there, but I'm boosting. This is probably like 11K. It's a little bit smoother boost because I'm playing a lot of upper frequencies, So the principle is the same, and I'm sending this to H3000, which is this. It just widens it up a little bit, and I have panned it a little bit to the left because the rhythm guitars, I took out one. Well, this was actually because I did a video, so this is the same performance. And then I automated that when there's a solo, these other rhythm guitars are, down, and this is the lead. Then I'm sending it to PCM70 to panned delays preset, and also to TC Electronics D2, which I'm automating to the end to add just a little bit more delay. But if we listen to the guitar soloed, so the EQ thing, same principles, and then just widening it up a little bit and adding delay. If I take this overview here, and there's just the Soothe, no C6 multiband compressor, just the Soothe to kind of smoothen it out a little bit. So when you're recording solos, record always dry, because then you can do these things in the mix by adding the delay, you know, whatever you feel or the mixing engineer feels is the best. And also the lead has a little bit of a LA3A compressor. This is my favorite compressor for guitar solos. The rhythm guitars, there was no compression, nothing. Makes it a bit more even and kind of even more aggressive. So that's how at least I mix heavy metal guitars. Just to recap: play well, record well, try to get the sound as closely to the final sound already on the way in, and then in the mixing, you know, you EQ them in the context. So the way I mix, I always do drums and bass first, then because that's the basic, you know, drums and bass. It's that this is the then when I got these, then I start to mix guitars, and obviously I'll do changes here if needed, but then I'll start to do guitars and I EQ them always in the context of a mix, you know, because nobody's gonna hear your guitar track soloed, and probably nobody's even interested because they wanna hear a good metal song. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this interesting and informative as always. If you have any more questions or request of certain videos, playing, mixing, whatever, please write them in the comment section below. Until next time, take care, all the best, bye.